Alright, I completely forgot there was another one that celebrated 4-year anniversary, but hey, this one wasn't even my fault, alright? So, yeah, I accidentally forgot that some other horror series kind of, you know, got a 40th anniversary. And I'm talking about Friday the 13th. Shocking. And it's sad. Now I'm looking at it. It's about to be 40 years. And Halloween's going to kick its ass. That's scary. Michael Myers is going to dethrone Jason in 2022. Not 2022, 2021. Good God. Yeah. I'm shocked. So, what can I do about this Friday the 13th 40th anniversary, I guess, since I missed that? Yeah. Oops. Well, seeing that there's not really any new movies coming out for it, you can already tell the remake's already done. So what's there left? And there's a possibility of one coming in development hell. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So, since it's been 40 years since the first film was made, might as well talk about it. And since it is the month of Halloween, and might as well make this announcement now, I'll be talking about that 2018 version of Halloween. Yeah. For now, I guess from here on out, we're talking about Friday the 13th. Sorry there wasn't much of an introduction, but hey, I completely forgot about that. That's my fault. Anyways, let's begin. Let's start off with the original, the classic 1980s Friday the 13th. Many of you should already know that, yes, the movie involves not Jason, which is something that also occurs in the fifth movie, but we'll get to that one later, and you'll know why. So the first film was made by Sean Cunningham, and it is a absolute classic. In fact, it is I would say the pinnacle of the horror genre, or in this case, the pinnacle of slashers. Though Michael Myers really made that first, but we didn't make the rules, sadly. So, yeah, Jason was kind of the first to kind of make the body count work. In fact, its trailers and even its ad campaigns basically talked about the body count. How many kills can you rack up in a horror film? Halloween kind of not really did that because it was mainly for suspense and horror. However, Friday the 13th, instead of it being about relatable characters and relatable, like, I would say any form of character development, we've got basically your regular teenagers having fun doing drugs and then getting axed off by a faceless killer. Though, however, faceless isn't really the term for this series. In fact, Halloween has made it more faceless in this series. So, back on track. Friday the 13th, the original. Kind of a classic. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but since everyone kind of knows the spiel, here's how it goes. A group of campers go out to the woods, or basically a group of counselors go out to set up Camp Crystal Lake, which was filmed in New Jersey, which, hey, that's kind of being dedicated there. And what they did was basically try to build a summer camp out of a cursed camp, also known as Camp Blood. No, not the movie, because I've actually found out there was a movie about Camp Blood, which is questionable. But, in other words, there was a lot of bad events involving fires, murders, a drowned kid in the lake, and the water going bad? How does water go bad in a fucking lake? But anyways, each character gets picked off one by one, and the work by Tom Savini is absolutely fucking gorgeous. I love amazing gore effects. I am a gory kind of guy. In fact, the other series I'm about to talk about soon is all about gore, but Tom Savini was the best at the time. So, we got a lot of great kills and a lot of great questionable character development, but what it leads up to at the very end of Act 3 is the final girl circuit where dead bodies are strewn around the camp, and we are left with basically our final girl, Alice, kind of surviving until the end, until she meets Mrs. Voorhees. Yes, any Scream fan that knows the fucking term, Jason wasn't the killer in the first film. It was Pamela Voorhees. And we get the disturbing backstory of her, which is absolutely kind of nice. But I think one thing I've heard that should have been done was Mrs. Voorhees being part of the camp, which would have worked out, actually. It would have worked out perfectly fine. So we kind of see her get unhinged, talk about her son dying in the water. Camp counselor should have watched him. Look what you did to him, kind of thing. And then, yeah, we end up with the final confrontation between Alice and Pamela Voorhees, played well by Betsy Palmer. Yes, I remember the actresses, kind of. But the end of the day, if you've already seen the ending of the movie, and yes, heavily spoilers for each movie, if I could try not to, but hey, I can't fucking win them all. But basically, Pamela gets her head chopped off by Alice, and she goes out, and not Pamela, Alice goes to the lake. And the ending, if you've seen it, you should know that, yeah, it's questionable if it was a hallucination or it's legitimately Jason rising out of the water to drag Alice in the water. Who knows? Maybe it was a dream, maybe it wasn't a dream. Though, we'll explain the theory later on after kind of at the end of the video. But anyways, part 2. Let's get to part 2 because there's 10 fucking films, including the remake. This is going to be a fun, lengthy video. Anyways, time for part 2. Part 2 is the continuation somewhat because we get new characters and Alice returns for only the prologue. Yeah, that kind of sucks. If you want to see the main character, hey, there you go. If you see her die, oh, fuck, that means the movie's going to be shit. Though part 2 is actually pretty interesting. It's kind of a little bit more like the first one, but instead of it just being the same Crystal Lake, we're ended up in a new campground. If anyone's played the Friday the 13th games, you should know the 3 locations of the campgrounds for those settings. Oh, God, I can't even remember the name from that one, so, oops. I should have done my research, but it's all good. Anyways, part 2, you get to see Jason finally go kill at last, though it's basically a sack version of Jason, the sackhead Jason, not the hockey mask one, we'll get to the next film, but hey, I mean, it's Jason. It's his first outing, so I guess a fucking sack would have worked. So, yeah, we end up with a bunch of great kills, another amazing kind of run. Though, since the beginning of most of these films, the MPAA has been trying to, well, they basically tried to make sure the movie wasn't excessively gory, which will be a theme throughout the rest of the film, so they avoid a Certificate X. Anyone that's seen a movie with a Certificate X, yeah, you should know that that shit's probably not going to show up in a movie theater. Maybe in a grindhouse, but not a movie theater. Anyways, the ending of that, which I think it took a really interesting turn, having the main character, the main survivor or girl, protagonist, whatever, final girl, basically putting on the sweater and trying to be like Pamela Voorhees is freaking smart. Even in the game you get to do that. So, how is that not a thing? Though part 4 kind of did it. And then after that, they threw it out the fucking window. The fuck, man. Anyways, yeah, Jason gets killed questionably, though an axe through the machete through the shoulder. I doubt he would die from that unless it like went further to his heart or aorta. I don't know. But anyways, final girl survives. Paul, I think, doesn't survive until actually I'll let part 3 explain that. So yeah, there's gonna be a formulaic theme that final girl run, Jason gets killed, everything happy ending. Supposedly. Let's go on to part 3, which Paul is confirmed killed in that one. Which it shows, I mean, like, also there's a formula of basically the prologue being the events that happened in this last film. So it's kind of one of those episodic ones, which is nice. Though part 3 shows us that he removed the machete out of his arm, which is pretty cool. And this is the one where Hockey Mask Jason shows up. Oh god, I'm that tired today, but it's cool. But we get to see Hockey Mask Jason for the first time, and the fucking gimmick of part 3 was that it was in 3D. Yeah, that's probably not a good idea, but thankfully the Blu-ray had a 2D version of it, which it looks dumb, but at the same time you gotta consider the fact that if you want a 3D version of it, there's a way to do it, but too many people have explained it, so I can't really explain it, sadly. But the 3D at the time was actually not that bad, though. I think it was absolute shit with the red and black, so yeah, 3D wasn't that great. So if you want to watch a 2D version just to see stupid shit flying at the camera, and practically and not fucking like every other movie nowadays where it's like fucking CG. Yeah, it'll be a series I'll talk about that fucking crap. But anyways, the formula still shows here. Jason goes on a killing spree. People die. Final girl circuit. Jason gets killed. And then a happy ending. Yeah, you're going to notice this formula actually going around until, well, part 4. Which we'll talk about. Time for part 4. And this one's supposedly the final chapter. Though, really, people have been calling it part 4 because it's not the ending. It really isn't. So, yeah. That's fun. Part 4 is basically the final movie, though part 3 was supposedly the ending. Oh, yeah, this is going to be one of those fun ones, but what do you expect? Part 4 is kind of good. Actually, I found part 4 pretty fun. If you want to watch that one first to get the full effect, go for it. It's a good movie. It has Tom Savini again doing the beautiful, beautiful gory effects, though. Once again, MPAA kind of like made it chopped down, but thankfully the Blu-ray did have all the deleted gory stuff or the behind the scenes stuff. Good lord. It's actually worth watching the behind the scenes stuff. I actually watched it a few times and the gore effects are beautiful. It is beautiful to see what you can do with reverse playing, like a cleaver to the face, having like different shots for the head twisting off, and yeah, there's also a dude getting his crotch harpooned. Oh god, that was like beautiful. But once again, if I would recommend getting it on Blu-ray, but thankfully this was a good series. It was a good film. The way it ended with Corey Feldman killing Jason, it's a good way to end it. However, they did cliffhanger it with Tommy being the new Jason. Did that fall through? Oh boy, they screwed up big time in that ending. In fact, like that's probably like the formula is still the same. Teenagers die, Jason goes for the final girl circuit kind of thing. Then Corey Feldman kills him. And that was supposed to be the end of Jason. However, nah, they went with part 5, A New Beginning. Oh, where'd they go wrong with that? Let's see. Majority of the main characters are forgettable, including Tommy Jarvis, which, yeah, that's sad. Then you also have, yeah, I couldn't remember fucking shit from that movie. It's a shitty one. That one's a pass. I've heard it's cursed, and it shows it's cursed. Plus, it involves not Jason, but a similar effect to what happened in part 1, which Roy Burns was the killer and not Jason. But the fashion he did it is similar to Pamela. Who knew? Which brings up a theory that a lot of people would... I think one person mentioned on YouTube before that what if it was just a copycat killer every time? Like it was the Legend of Jason, but it was these unnamed killers. Which is an interesting theory, but to put into practice, it actually might be plausible. Considering the fact that we had... This is the part where I'm actually going to explain it. Every Friday the 13th film showed Jason unmasked in some way and form. Like Halloween kept Michael's face completely hidden. Jason, however, is a completely different story. You get to see him get unmasked before your eyes. So you get to see what horrible mug face that we got to see. And that's probably the one thing that actually makes this series interesting, because you get to see these different faces. So the theory could work. It really could work. all these different faceless killers and letting it be the legend of Jason Voorhees. It sounds plausible. I'd say if that's a possibility, hey, you're going somewhere. But no, people demanded Jason to return, and that where we leave to Jason. Not that one. Jason Lives. Part 6. Yeah. We should already know the formula by now. Jason rises from the dead. Teenagers get killed. Tommy Jarvis has to explain that Jason's on the run. And then we go through the formula once again. Final girl circuit. Jason gets killed. Happy ending. The only difference with part 6 is that they actually had children at the camp that time. So, yeah, there was a lot of opportunities you could have had with that. Because, you know, the camp's actually running. There's children there. You had a working campground or camp thingy, whatever. That could have worked. But they kind of scrapped it and went with part 7. The New Blood. Yeah, we're already on the 7th film and we're already at 16 minutes. Yeah, this is going to be fun to explain. So, originally the title was Jason versus Carrie because, you know, Stephen King's Carrie was like the all craze of the time. Though they had to go with a budget version of Carrie, or at least a not look like Carrie but have the same powers as Carrie. So fake Carrie resurrects Jason. Jason goes on a killing spree, which Jason this time was played by Kane Hodder. From this film all the way down to Freddie versus Jason. Yeah, Krueger will be explained at some point in time, but not this year. Yeah, Kane Hodder. I forgot to mention every Jason actor was played by a different person from 2 through 6. And now we're at the point where we have our definitive Jason, which is Kane Hodder. And boy, do I like this Jason. He gives Jason a beautiful attitude. Like, he will make you shit your pants. But yeah, the formula stays the same. Jason goes on a killing spree. Tina's the final girl, I think. That, even though it sounds weird. But yeah, we have our final girl circuit. Jason and fake Carrie fight. Jason's killed in a very stupid manner. But I heard they could have done with a zombie makeup dad rising from the ground, which would have been weird, but it would work. But no, they fucked that up hard. And you could tell these films are slowly getting tiring with the same formula. But yeah, Jason versus fake Carrie. It's a good fight. I mean, it's probably the first Versus film if you want to go there for the Bronze Age of horror. But even then, like, you could have made something work at the ending. Yeah, that ending was shit. Now we go to the Manhattan with Jason Takes Manhattan, the 8th film, and you should know the formula by now. Jason gets resurrected, freaking goes on a killing spree on a boat for a fucking hour, and then we go to Manhattan. And this is the film where they're supposed to kill Jason by toxic fucking sludge. What the fuck went wrong there? So yeah, final girl circuit. Jason gets killed by toxic. And then it's over. It's the happy ending. What the fuck went wrong? What the fuck? And yeah, I understand the budget was not there for New York, since New York was expensive at the time for the film. But even then, this film kind of does deserve to get fixed. Maybe that'll be a video in the future. But now we come to the worst point in Jason's career. The New Line films. Oh boy. Oh, where do I begin? I guess Jason Goes to Hell. No. Just fuck no. I'm sorry, that one's a bad one. I'll try to explain it, but I know it's not going to go anywhere. So Jason's only in the film for a few shots, then he gets blown off by explosion by FBI agency, then gets taken to a corner, and then eats his heart, and then shit happens. Alright, yeah, the plot's dumb. It's a dumb concept. The fact that Jason's a demon and his family members have to kill him, it's a dumb concept, and it doesn't work. I mean, I get it. You didn't have the Friday the 13th stuff, but still. You should have killed it and buried it with Part 8. But they didn't stop there, did they? They made Jason go to space in Jason X. Oh, God, this movie was... it was okay. It wasn't great. It was absolute shit. I mean, yeah, it's Jason in space. It's basically them saying, look, we've already done everything we could. We had Jason go to Manhattan. We had Jason go into hell. So let's just send him to space. Like, that sounds reasonable, right? Just shoot off a fucking serial killer into the stars. Oh boy, that was a bad one. That's a bad idea. So yeah, Jason X. I mean, yeah, what can I say about it? It's an okay film, but just not great. It's just a tired series. That's all I could see it. A very tired series that went through 10 films. And now, well, I would say there's Freddie versus Jason, but in order to talk about that, I would have had to talk about the entire Nightmare series. Which is actually not that bad, but hey, I mean, like, it's 7 films less than this. But hey, it's finally time to talk about the remake. Which, I would say this one's back to its roots, at least. It's not like the 8 fucking films we had to endure. But hey, we got Jason again. That should be the only good thing. Though, I would say for this version, I would say it would have worked. It would have worked. So a lot of people have said about that one, it wasn't that great, but when you look at it, it's not bad. The remake is not a bad film because it's going back to its roots. Yes, it is parts 1 through 3 all in one film because you have Mrs. Voorhees for like this much, then you have Zach, Jason, and then finally our hockey mask throughout the last of it. So, yeah, that's actually not a bad film. You had some okay characters. They're not great. But Jason looked fucking phenomenal. I mean, yeah, we didn't see his face a lot, but it worked. It fucking worked. And the scary thing is, it came up with an idea that Jason didn't drown, and he actually was in the woods the entire time. Now, that actually works out pretty well for Jason. I mean, yeah, he's still a creature of the water, but instead of him actually being part of the water, he's just a survivalist. He's just a lonely human being out in the woods. And it worked. Somehow, but it's not a great film, but it worked as a remake. And it's surprisingly better than Freddie's version of a remake. So yeah, that's practically all 11 films rounded up in almost 25 seconds. Not 25 seconds, 25 minutes, what the hell? But all in all, it all had the same formula. You had the resurrected killer, the teenagers getting slaughtered, final girl circuit, and then finally the killer getting killed, and then a happy ending. But overall, it's not a bad series. I mean, yeah, it's one of those films that work on Halloween night, but is it worth a marathon? Nah, not worth a marathon. If you're going to go through the Friday the 13th series, you have to take it in with a grain of salt. Understand, these movies are very campy. It's the first campy horror series. And then you had Sleepaway Camp, which kind of takes it in a new direction kind of thing, but that'll be something I'll talk about in the future. Maybe in the summer. But all in all, these films did a great job. Some of them are shit. Don't get me wrong, all horror movies are going to be shit when you milked it dry. But the first third, fourth, and the sixth of Friday the 13th were pretty good. The remake is not bad. I mean, for God's sakes, it's a remake. It's not going to be great. It's going to have its own ways of retelling the tale of Jason Voorhees, and I fucking love it. But there are times where the film series should have died after, like, that many films, but, I mean, what can you do? It's still a good series. I would recommend it at some point, but only 1, 3, 6, and then the remake. If you're going to watch them in a marathon, give yourself a break every film. Like, give yourself time to develop the characters a little bit more. Give yourself time to understand. And know that Jason's probably going to be the main star throughout each one. Except for number 1. But yeah, that's Friday the 13th. I'm kind of glad I went through the whole film series. Though I wish there was another one that comes out. But, I mean, sadly, there might not be another Friday the 13th for a long time. Yeah, with the remake already done, or in this case, already here. I mean, what can we do? I mean, yeah, there should be a series, but, I mean, we've already done that, and I've never seen it before. So, what could Jason do? Who knows? Maybe they'll come up with another remake. Maybe they might do something different. Like, time will tell, unfortunately. But anyways, people, that was my talk about for Friday the 13th. And since it is the month of Halloween, why not talk about more horror movies during October? Wouldn't be a bad idea. So yeah, I talked about that. I wonder what other series I'll come up with. Though, from many signs of it, there is another series I might talk about. But anyways, right now, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, like and favorite if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more. And yes, I understand that we're still delaying a lot of videos, but right now, we got what we need. We'll work with whatever we got this far. And might as well celebrate Halloween on a good note, right? Anyways, people, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Talking about another franchise. Which one? Well, there's no pigmen showing up, so if that's not a clue, let the games begin. See ya, everyone.